Senior Foreign Affairs correspondent Amy Kellogg speaks this evening with Mahmoud Ahmadinejad.
It was under his watch that Iran began enriching uranium. He called the Holocaust a myth and suggested Israel should be wiped off the map. Now he's back, at least in the hearts of Iranians who in a recent poll voted former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad top pick for the country's next president. And he's active. In an exclusive interview with Fox News, Ahmadinejad said he has reached out to President Biden.
I have sent a letter to Mr. Biden after he was elected. I sent it this week, and in that letter, I described the world's condition and asked him to stand firm and change the policies towards justice and peace, and I prayed for him.
Ahmadinejad says he likes the American people a lot.
I think if the two nations of Iran and the US stand side by side and commonly plan for cultural, economic, and political cooperation, a huge source of energy is going to be released around the world for stabilizing the peace and security.
I traveled to Iran 8 times for Fox while Ahmadinejad was president and was always struck by the dichotomy between the warmth of the Iranian people and the hostile tone of Iranian officials. Tehran blames Washington for the ruptured relations. Ahmadinejad seemed to take one step back, in a way, sharing blame.
Currently, there are some restrictions imposed by both governments for the purpose of communication between the two nations. In my view, it's not rational. Both governments should remove the restrictions, enabling nations to cooperate with each other.
Even in light of changing dynamics in his region, with several Muslim countries recently signing accords with Israel, Ahmadinejad's hard views on the Jewish state have not changed, though he tried to recast them. Do you still think that Israel should be wiped off the map, or do you see a future where perhaps Iran and Israel could be, in some ways, friends?
What we are saying should be wiped off the face of the earth is oppression and discrimination and occupation.
Ahmadinejad still accuses the U.S. government of warmongering, but many note there's been a bit of a rebranding reflected in things like this holiday tweet.
And wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all women and men in the world.
Meanwhile, as the Islamic Republic ratchets up its saber-rattling with missile tests and increased uranium enrichment, the Biden administration is under pressure to work up an Iran plan. And there will be a new president in Tehran this summer. If it's not Ahmadinejad 2.0, many say it's likely to be another hardliner, as the more moderate incumbent, Hassan Rouhani, has not been seen to deliver on promises. Now, certainly Ahmadinejad, Brett, has lots of detractors in Iran, and Iran watchers say, many of them anyway, that it's not likely at all that the supreme leader would even let him run for president again. And he himself says he's not sure he wants to throw his hat into the ring. But in any event, it seems pretty clear from what we've seen tonight that he wants to continue to enjoy a certain amount of influence there.